Not far from the heart of Lismore are a bunch of homes among the gum trees, on a dead-end road called Pine Street. For the past 9 months, a group of squatters has occupied 7 houses. Some are travellers, some are locals who come and go. Others, like Tina, say this place has become a refuge.
I came to lose my job, couldn't get a rental. I've been living officially in my car for about 3 years. This place has felt like a bit more into normal life. You know, I've got a roof over my head, I can feel a bit safer. I've now even got a job, like I've just recently got myself a job. You know, so life is starting to look up for me now.
Shane came over from Sydney. He'd been sleeping in his truck parked at one of the properties and recently bought a caravan.
I was just looking for a place to park the truck one night and drove down this street to find vans everywhere, lit up with people and music and guitars, and I just felt so safe finally. No, I didn't have a house, but it felt like I had a home.
Following the devastating floods in Lismore in 2022, the then Perrottet government vowed to help the town recover, buying up properties in the flood zone it deemed unsafe. The plan was to demolish, relocate or fix up the homes. Pine Street was included, but since then the homes have remained empty, allowing people like Tina to move in.
Under the law, you're not allowed to be here. Are you willing to be prosecuted?
Well, I'm here out of desperation, you know. I would like to appeal for that and say, look, you know, what else was I supposed to do? I did call emergency accommodation before coming here.
According to the group's self-appointed spokespeople, Emma and Lockie, they're also protesting against the New South Wales government's slow action on helping Lismore.
I hope it will tell people that the flood recovery has failed and that this system that we have in this government is inherently failing all of us.
Pine Street was cut off by floodwaters when Cyclone Alfred swept through earlier this month. The squatters fled for higher ground, only to return after Alfred cleared off.
It was a lot of effort to prepare for and a lot of potential risk and a lot of panic and a lot of fear for people who don't have anywhere else to go.
But you're okay with moving back into houses in the flood zone?
Yeah, well look, ideally no one would have to live in the floodplains, but the reality of this area is that there's just not enough housing.
This part of the world is known for its free-spirited culture, and there's a strong sense of community here. They've set up their own lounge with a piano and drums for get-togethers and chip in money for communal meals. But while they're getting cosy, these homes are owned by the state government, and the Premier, Chris Minns, wants them out.
The government's Reconstruction Authority has been trying to move them on for months, to no avail.
We bought those houses so that we could keep communities safe, so that no one would live there. And to have squatters move in off the back of that is completely unacceptable. So I've made a decision in conjunction with the Reconstruction Authority that we are going to demolish those houses.
The squatters' camp has angered some in Lismore. Last weekend, police responded to reports of a group of hoons who did burnouts in the early hours and damaged vehicles. For Lismore Mayor Steve Krieg, it's been frustrating to watch the squatter camp grow. He wants them gone too, but he says there's little the council can do.
The state government is responsible for moving them on, so do you think it's taken too long?
I think more swift action probably at the start of this whole debacle probably would have seen a much less conflict, that's for sure. It's been allowed to fester like an open sore, sadly, and you know, that's where we find ourselves today, where it's almost a standoff.
Would you like to see the police move in and remove them?
No, I wouldn't like to see it, but I think what we're dealing with here is illegal activity. They're occupying a property that is not theirs without the owner's consent.
And I've gone and added extra steel up into the roof to make it cyclone-proof.
Not everyone on Pine Street is squatting. Paul Pateson has lived here for 36 years, raising the foundations of his house, which survived the 2022 disaster.
And all of a sudden it just went and just surged up, and we didn't have a lot of time.
Despite the high risk of flood after flood, he declined a government offer to buy back his home.
And I'm not worried about the floods. To me, it doesn't bother me. It's kind of exciting, to be honest. But anyway, my wife died in my arms here. I got my history here. I'm sort of, I'm happy to stay here till I die.
This week, the Minns government reshuffled its cabinet, elevating long-time Northern Rivers MP Janelle Saffin to Minister for Recovery. She says the squatters were issued eviction notices about 2 months ago, with court action now underway.
It's divided our community, and the majority of people in our community are upset about it. They feel that that's just something they don't want to have to deal with on top of the trauma of 2022.
She says the homes on Pine Street are unsafe to live in.
Some of them have asbestos and they have to be assessed one by one. That takes time. They have to be hazmated.
But she's conceded the recovery process in Lismore has taken too long.
Recovery by its nature is chaotic. I'm a local as well, and the local member, and I've said that myself, that sometimes things are too slow. I'm now the minister. I've been the minister for a minute, and to the best of my ability, taking over now, I'm going to work to speed things up.
The government isn't saying when the bulldozers will come, but if they do, Tina says she'll be devastated.
We won't have anywhere to stay, so I'll be literally on the streets with my son, so that'll be back into full-on survival mode and full-on fear and living in the street.
What would you like to say to the Premier?
Come and see us. Come and talk to us. Do we deserve to be demolished for being there for each other?